Hello everybody. Welcome to part 2 of My Wrath of the Righteous Lich run. Let's see. So, last time we left off, we almost got out of the shield maze. If the stream quality isn't that good, I would like to apologize.
Rely on me.
As it is raining right now. Alright. But let's go get it. You are huddled together like a herd of animals, pitiful monsters, not human or demon. Even tieflings are less effective than you. But I, your master, Savamelek, can make you better, stronger. I can satisfy your hunger. Starvelings of the dark, submit to me. No, we are the descendants of crusaders. Trusting a demon would be a betrayal of their memory. Well, who's the next descendant of crusaders who values old legends more than their life? Beasts, monsters, and human guise, reveal your true nature. This is the sweet, wholesome flesh of a righteous Aasimar. Eat, underground crusaders. Eat the flesh of the crusader from above. Find your true strength. You rush at the demon, but the air seems to grow thicker with every step. You feel like you're watching from underwater as you see the mongrels fall to their knees one after another and crawl to the Aasimar's body. You hear their fangs tearing through the flesh. You hear the sloshing of blood. You hear the former mongrels snarl like animals, fighting over the most tender and juicy bits of meat. Some lines from Urgathoa's sacred text float into your mind, as if of their own volition. You can make a great marinade for Aasimar flesh using honey and pomegranate juice. To make the meat even more tender, roll it in breadcrumbs before frying. I've never seen that before. That's really one of Urgathoa's sacred texts. The freaking a cooking guide on Aasimars. Companions writhe in agony. One clutches at their head, another doubles over. You feel saliva pool in your mouth, the metallic tang awakens hunger in you. The hunger turns to rage. This winged filth dares to try to bind you to its will. It dares to tempt you with the sweet scent of meat untainted by corruption. The wretch must die. And still, the clarity remains with you. Somewhere deep down beneath the veil of rage and anger, you sense the light trying to break through. Yeah, I ain't doing a good playthrough. You permit the rage to possess you, and malevolent joy spreads through you. Freedom. Freedom to kill anyone who stands in your way. The demon, the cultists, and their pathetic mongrel fighters are no match for you. You feel the crimson fog of hatred cloud your vision. Your simmering blood no longer wishes to languish in your veins. It wants to be free. It bursts forth from your chest wound in powerful pulses, its heady scent dispelling the last threads of sanity. Back maggots. The demon hisses, backing away. Ah! There's more to you than meets the eye. You have our power within you. Slaves, destroy this vermin. Oscilla points at you. He's already wounded Winduag. Kill. Winduag takes a step forward. I no longer serve you. Not you or the flying monkey. I always fight with the strongest side. Oh, and Lan was there. Lan emerges from the shadows, knocking an arrow in his bow as he moves. What did I miss? A dramatic showdown? Oh, it's you. Perfect.
I'll bathe in your blood.
Oh, she went right towards me. That's bad. That thing has reach.
Into the fray.
Gonna back the hell up. Boom fist.
I'll cut you wide open. The light take you.
Alright, I crit her. O mighty Savamelech, your faithful servant invokes you now. Demons, protect your mistress. Demons always make the worst guards. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I can't charge.
Glory without risk. They'll beg me to stop.
Can't hit either, apparently.
The spirits demand your blood.
What's these guys' fort look like? Oh. Oh, they're getting their bones rattled. Oh, yeah. They still live, though. This
Into the fray.
didn't kill them.
I'll rip you apart. You are today's sacrifice.
And you know, screw it. Okay, that's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. What the? Camellia, please. Camellia, please.
They didn't have a choice. They were forced to do it.
Lion stares at the mongrels lying senseless on the floor.
Keep telling yourself that, Lan. There's always a choice. They could have chosen to die, but now they're going to live and become stronger. I know that from personal experience.
Shut up! You're not just a traitor, you're a monster! The young ones, they believed your stories, and you lured them to a demon and watched them eat human flesh!
I was trying to make them strong. What have you done for them? What were you doing while I was looking for ways to bring strength to our tribe? You're useless, Lan.
I led by example! I trained. I tried to become stronger so I could go to the surface and maybe do something worthwhile with my stupidly short life. And I will do it. I might be the one to bring our whole tribe to the surface. But you? Why would you want any power that turns you into a monster? These young guys and girls, they trusted you. And they were turned into mindless animals, ready to eat corpses at a demon's command.
I went through the same ritual as them, and I didn't become an animal. I conquered my anger. The anger that has been building and building in every one of us for decades. Unlike you, I have no intention of just lying down and politely accepting death. I will rise above all this, while you'll still be stuck with your pride, chewing on rats. Who do you want at your side? The person who betrayed the demons to follow you? The person who will do everything you say and bring glory to your name? Or this trash?
The bleeding deep wound on your chest is gone, like it was never there in the first place. The skin is totally smooth and unmarred.
It's gone. It was just there, and now it's gone. It's gotta be some kind of demonic trickery. You need to have a cleric look at that.
As if you know anything about demons and their powers. Some dark force cast its gaze on him and chose him from among all others. There's magic inside this Uplander that is beyond your meager understanding. And all you have to say is, go see a cleric. You're pathetic, lamb.
So you've been serving Savamelek this whole time, Windwag.
Better just serve a strong master than to eke out an existence in a dark hole with no hope. I am of the Neathers. Our lives are short, but we are hardier than humans. I realized a long time ago that I was capable of more than this life offered, and I follow whomever is the strongest. You. You scared Savamelek. Posilla has fallen. Now, I wish to serve you.
I thought you were proud of your heritage, but you're willing to crawl on your belly before anyone who's even a little stronger than you. You say you didn't become an animal? What a joke! Only animals pledge their allegiance to whoever has the sharpest teeth. Oh, but what am I saying? Even cave spiders are loyal to their mother. You're even lower than that.
Oh, so now you think you know everything about me. You're one of the best hunters in the tribe. It benefited me to ingratiate myself with you. So I acted in a way that pleased you. And the Uplander will get the Windwag that he wants to see. I'm willing to do anything to get out of this hole. And you're willing to do anything too. Don't try to hide it. I know you, Lan. I've had time to study you.
I'm going to the surface only because my time has come to leave. The Uplanders are in danger. They need all the help they can get. But I'm only risking my own life. See the difference? I'll do whatever the Crusade asks of me, but I'll never be like you.
You said you went through the same ritual. Does that mean you ate human flesh too?
Yes. Posilla found me in the caves. I was lost and hungry, and she offered me a choice. Die as a nobody, or live and gain the power to change everything. Savamelek tore off a piece of an Azimar priestess's thigh. A big, juicy piece. More meat than I'd ever received in the tribe. That was the first time I knew what it was like to be happy. To have a full belly. I swore to myself that it would always be that way. Then the madness and rage took over. I came very close to turning into an animal, no better than the weaklings you saw in the maze. But I am strong. I mastered myself. I brought myself under control. I fell so that I could rise again.
You should have chosen death. Dying's better than living like that.
You're saying I should have died that day, Lan. But then who would have listened to your feeble jokes? Who would have showed you the best caves for hunting? Who would have made you a man?
I would have been fine without all that. And without you. Your death will make the world a slightly better place, Wenduog.
Look, isn't our land sweet? Look how his eyes blaze as he speaks of murder. And we were so close, too. Tell me, what do you think he'll do to you if you fail to live up to his precious ideals?
What did your service to Hosilla entail?
It was simple. I lured those I deemed worthy into the maze. To the rest, I told stories of the horrors of the maze, making them stay away. It all hung in the balance when the cave walls shuttered, and many of the young ones decided that the time of their great exodus had come. I had no doubt that Hosilla would dispatch a dozen young Neathers easily. But what would become of the maze if all the tribes poured in? So when Lan ran off looking for the Angel's sword, I went after him. Not to help him, but to make sure that the sword never reached Neathholm. It's a pity that you got involved and stopped me from killing him. But then again, the evening gong has not yet been struck.
You sicken me.
Why didn't you try to stop us from going inside the maze? You knew he might uncover your secret.
Saba Malik is always in need of new servants. You'd make as good a servant as anyone else, and then... once you'd gone missing in the maze, not even the redoubtable Lan would have dared look for you.
But then why did you come with me to look for the sword?
So I could kill you quietly if you found it and stop you taking it to the village, you idiot. I would have told everyone that you got caught in a cave-in. But then the Uplanders showed up and I had to change my plans. I don't regret what I did. I met you. Just say the word and all the Neathers will be yours. I'll bring them to you if you take me with you.
What exactly are you proposing to do with the mongrels?
What you saw here. They will become stronger. They will be an army unlike anything ever seen before on Galarian. Our lives may be short, but while we live, we are faster, deadlier, and harder to kill than most. I am offering you an army. An army that will win you land, power, and everything you desire.
An army of cannibals? Are you insane? You want to turn them from rational beings into rabid beasts that only want to kill. They will be slaves, and you will be their slave driver. Is that the kind of power you're so desperate to gain?
I went through the same process they did. The beast raged inside me, my mind was foggy, but I have an iron will, and I never back down. I snatched victory from the jaws of insanity. If there are any individuals worthy of becoming my officers among those Neathers, they will be able to do the same.
I've heard enough.
Then you know which one of us you need. Take me with you, and I will give you an army of Neathers.
Don't fall for her empty words. Wenduog despises everyone but herself. As soon as you show any weakness, she'll betray you, just like she betrayed us.
That is the reasoning of a weak person. A strong person does not fear, they act.
Why do you want to help me, Winduag?
You think I'm just a freak from the catacombs, but Neathers are faster, stronger, and tougher than you Uplanders. Take me with you, and I'll build you an army of Neathers. I'll lure them out of this hole, we'll round them all up, every last tribe, and perform the ritual. And then, you will be a power to be reckoned with on the surface. Many of the Neathers will be no better than the mindless beasts we encountered in the dungeons. But there will also be those who can overcome the fog and be like me. I will lead them into battle, and you will command us all. You trusted me from the beginning and hid the angel's light from that idiot Saul. Keep listening to me, and a glorious future awaits us. The power you demonstrated, it was incredible. It swept Hosilla aside, it sent Savamelek running. I will follow you wherever you go.
Right? Made my
I hope
decision.
we're not taking this girl with us. She'll sell us to the first demon she sees.
If we're befriending monsters in order to fight the demons, why not join forces with the strongest of them? Isn't that the rational choice? They're both equally hideous. Neither of them will improve the aesthetics of our little band.
Come with me, Windoweg.
You're making a mistake. If some priest ever winds up down here, I'll ask him to pray for your soul. But I doubt it'll help you.
Who cares what you think? The Master has made his choice. Len knows too much. He must die.
You're right. I know everything. And I also know where I'm not wanted, so I think I'll just go and have a chat with Saul.
You're not leaving here alive, Lan. Well, he is. I guess. Windoweg's strike hits Lan, but he leaps toward the wall and slips into a barely visible crevice.
He got away. Don't worry, Lan. I'll get you. Wait here, Master. I will bring Sol and the other Uplanders. We'll make sure that everyone knows that Lan failed to save anyone and fled like a coward.
Chief Sol appears flanked by mongrels, and the journey has taken its toll on him. His breath is labored, and the sweat is dripping from his bloated face. What? What's this? Anivia gives a low whistle. Well, I'll be damned. Turned out Holren isn't as crazy as we all thought. There really were demons down here. I should have listened and sent a patrol down here. Damn it. Horgus's lips curl in distaste, and he tries to keep his distance from the unconscious mongrels. You said you were in charge of reconnaissance for the Eagle Watch, Anivia. How could you miss a nest of demons beneath Canabras? Yeah, right. Like it wasn't enough that I sniffed after every damn shadow in the city. Everybody knows the stories about the demons living beneath the streets of Canabras. Those tales are as old as the Crusades themselves. I messed up, but you fixed my mistake, so thanks. How's the leg? Better than yesterday, worse than the day before. I'm not gonna die, don't worry. The maze is full of dangers, but we dealt with them. I sensed that the maze was an evil place, and so it was. There was a demon sitting right in the center of it, with spells to dull our minds. We barely managed to overpower him. When we reached the cultist's lair, that's when we saw Lan. He ran like a coward. He is abandoning the young ones to be mauled by the demon. Sol looks at the unconscious mongrels lay down on the ground. Yes, Lan is too hasty. Will we survive if we listen to people like him? No, Lan is not one of us. He does not understand our path. You understand, Windoweg. You saved us. I always thought you were a decent sort. Respect. You need to look after the young mongrels. They're out for the count, but when they wake up, Chief, you'll see that these experiments have made them stronger. Some of them have lost their minds, but that doesn't matter. What matters is they survived. They're warriors now. As long as they can hunt, the rest can wait. Uplander and you, Windoweg, you saved them. That's what matters. We will help them from here. But if they want to go up to the surface, I don't know if there's anything I can do to stop them. It's time to get out of here. I'm going with the Uplanders, Chief. The maze holds no more secrets now. I have to go further. Humph. You always had to go further than everybody else. But what can I do? Go on then, but make sure to come back to us somehow. But where are you going? Where's the way out? I think I've worked it out. Winduak searches Osilla's body and shows you some papers and a key. If there's a key, there's a door. That's some great detective skills right there. If there's a letter, then it was intended for someone. Anivia's eyes quickly skim over the letter and she passes it to you. Those cheeky sons of... This is all the information on the cultists in the city. Their meeting places, passwords, their secret hideouts. Wow. All of it? On a piece of paper? I think we should show this to whoever's in charge of Canabras right now. As soon as we get back to the surface, we'll find out what's what. Alright, what's the damage on Camellia? Oh, that's 7. -7 dex. Oh, that hurts. That really hurts. She almost has a higher strength score. Oh, she hasn't saved against the poison yet. Oh my god, she's still taking damage. Okay. Gonna have to buy like 10 friggin' scrolls of restoration when we get back. Do I have use magic device? Please tell me I got use magic device. No, I didn't get it. Alright. Demons, daemons, and devils are 3 different types of creatures. Yep, checks out.
While the survivors wander the dungeons, the battle on the surface rages on. The warriors of Canabras are trying to defend the Wardstone, but their strength is flagging. Their resistance is valiant, yet it will all be in vain if no one rises up to turn the tide.
Together we stand.
What's up? The half-orc before you, wearing armor adorned with Iomede's golden swords, is clearly exhausted. She obviously hasn't gotten much sleep over the last few days. There's soot on her face and fresh blood on her sword. Her hazel eyes are hard and focused, and her firm voice sounds accustomed to giving orders. She sizes you up, surprised, judging whether you are friend or foe, and opens her mouth to ask you something, but freezes when she spots Anevia. I like how the swords of Iomade are the only thing that aren't golden on her armor. Yeah, the golden swords of Iomade. Yeah. I mean the silver.
By the goddess, Nevi, I'd almost lost all hope.
Everything's fine, Beth. I'm here. This here's a new friend. He rounded up those of us who survived the fall and led us up to the surface. Without him, we'd never have made it out. Let me introduce you to my wife, Arabeth Tirabade, head of the Eagle Watch.
Of course.
Until the army arrives, I'm the temporary warden of Canabras. And you're just in time. As you can see, we're in the middle of a battle. And Thank you for getting Anevia out of there.
Where are we?
The Grey Garrison. Until recently, it served as barracks for the Crusaders, but it's now been taken over by cultists.
What's the target of this battle?
When the demons attacked the city, their main target was the Wardstone. I trust I don't have to explain to you what the Wardstone is and how important it is to the Crusaders. We must retake it at any cost, or the fall of Canabris will be the beginning of the end of the Crusades, and with them, the rest of the world.
For those of you that don't know, the Wardstones are a chain of powerful artifacts keeping the World Wound's expansion at bay. The first and greatest in the chain was erected in the city of Canabris by the hand of the Inheritor himself, a golden-winged angel sent by the goddess Iomade. I love how they do that in this game. Or when it uses keywords that they know people have no idea what the hell they are. You can just get info on it.
I see that you had a difficult journey to the surface. You need to rest. But there's a lot riding on this battle. I have no right to command you, but I'm asking you to help us.
I have important information about the location of a cultist den.
Very good. Report to me in full when we get back to the Defender's Heart. It's our temporary headquarters. Right now, the most dangerous cultists are here. The ones occupying the Grey Garrison.
We met some mongrels who live beneath Canabris. This is Windwag.
Most people in Canabris think that the children of the First Crusaders are simply a legend. Other people say that the day you emerge on the surface heralds the start of the end of the world. I'm not superstitious, but the situation is apocalyptic, all right. Having a living legend on our side can't hurt.
I see you are in serious need of help. You're in luck. If my master is with you, then I am with you also.
What's the situation in the city?
The city's gone. Most of the defenders, including the Dragon Terendelev, fell in the first few hours. The civilians either fled or died in the chaos. The place is overrun with cultists and demons.
Don't talk like that. Canabris hasn't fallen. Not while it still has defenders like you and me.
Sweet words don't change the grim truth.
No, she's right. Thank you, Knight. Until we no longer have the strength to hold a weapon, until Iomade abandons us, we will fight for Canabris.
Tell me about the Wardstone. Why is it so important?
The Wardstones are a gift of Iomade. Created personally by her herald, a mighty angel, and a general of the Celestial armies. The Wardstones keep the World Wound from expanding. They stand along the border of the territory controlled by the demons, creating a barrier to keep them inside. The Canabris obelisk was the first to be placed. It is the key to the whole barrier. We cannot leave it in the hands of those monsters from the abyss.
How did the Wardstone end up in the Grey Garrison?
The demons have long laid siege to Canabris, but this time, their Lord Dascari appeared in the flesh. He ripped the Wardstone from the ground and hurled it halfway across the city to here. I thought the stone was destroyed, but it seems all is not lost, yet. Dascari has gone, but the Wardstone is surrounded by a horde of those creatures. What are they going to do to it? Nothing good, that's for certain.
But how did he do that? He's a demon! The Wardstone should have burned his filthy hide!
It should have. But what happened, happened. We don't know why.
Let's not waste any time. It's a battle.
That's the spirit. You, take Anevia to the rear. The rest of you with me.
You hear labored breathing, interspersed with disgruntled muttering. Horgus is holding his rapier hilt in a white-knuckled grip. A bead of sweat trickles down from his temple.
Lord Horgus Gwyrm, forgive me. I did not realize we had civilians among us. My people will escort you somewhere safe. To the extent that anywhere in Canabris can be said to be safe right now.
Alright. To battle! Actually, I know I'm gonna be one of these masterwork of art. It's just
No, backwards, backwards!
I gotta pay for Camillea's healthcare.
Save the last one for me.
It's alright. I'm so close. I'm so close to being able to sell it all off. Ooh, new spells. Don't mind if I do. Oh yeah, a new necromancy spell that I'm definitely gonna use. I'm so close. I just gotta make it. Hey, I know you. So you're one of these cultists? How's it going, pal? Want to join? Your lot will all be dead soon, but we'll be alive. I can't. Come on. Leave those losers. The Crusaders are over. Soon the demons will rule the whole world. Come on, man. Let's think about this. Here goes nothing. All hell Baphomet. And just like that. Just like that. Oh! Oh, I got cracked by magic missile. Maybe that 7 con was a mistake. No, that's not possible. Oh, not the stinking cloud. Not the stinking cloud. Come on. Come on.
What's in wait for me there, I wonder?
Come on. Yeah, loot it, Sly. Come on. We're so close. We can make it. We can make it.
No reason to pause.
We can make it. Almost. Just a little bit farther. Just a little bit farther. So close. There we go. Ooh, another necromancy spell that I'm not gonna use. Ooh, another spell that I'm not gonna use.
What's this? Do we have guests? Just in time. The place is a bit of a mess, and I haven't even poured the blood into the goblets yet. Why don't you... Oh!
The face of this demoness could be called pretty if it had eyes. Her mouth slowly widens into a smug grin.
What an unexpected surprise! Staunton, my little sweetheart. Long time no see. I've missed you so much. Have you missed me? Admit it. You missed me terribly.
The demon's mouth drops open in surprise, and she brings her manicured hand up to cover it.
Mirago. You again, you wench!
The aged dwarf from Erebeth's troops, silent up to now, spits on the floor. His hardened, craggy face, like a storm-weathered stone, twists as if in pain.
Minago, the one who... Be careful. She's one of the deadliest creatures in the whole demon horde. She was once responsible for a massacre in Canabris. She must be back to finish what she started.
The half-orc is too well-bred to spit on the floor, but the name sounds like a slur on her tongue. Hey, demon woman, what's wrong with your face?
Oh, how rude. You're one to talk, mortal, with a face that even a mother would loathe. Staunton, sweetie. You're not going to let your friends speak to me like that, are you?
That wench? She's the one who led me astray. She's the reason my life has gone to the abyss. She's the reason why Dresden fell.
Oh my, like butter wouldn't melt. What I remember is how eagerly you would run to our trysts, how you begged to see me again, how you promised you'd do anything I asked. By your own free will, you said this. And now you claim that Dresden fell because of me. No, my dear. That was entirely your own doing.
I'll beat your lying lips into your filthy throat!
Now, Staunton, don't say things like that. Not about these lips, the ones you kissed so sweetly. Staunton, dearest, don't you love me anymore? Remember how good we were together? I was so hoping that we could patch things up.
I'll kill you!
Well, it's a good thing she left instead of murdering us all right here. Oh, Camille's struggling. Yo, we're all struggling. Between the stinking Cloud, Einzel Gone not having any HP, and the rest of the party getting nauseated. Oh, there it is.
I did it.
The holy symbol of Discari, the demon lord who attacked Canabris, drawn in human blood. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? As soon as you step into the chamber, your vision seems to darken and your knees buckle. You struggle to keep your balance. The air in here is laden with the power coming from the stone. Suddenly your head is filled with voices, screaming, whispering, cackling, threatening voices, pleading for help, shrieking, curses, and taunts. You blink and the illusion passes.
Congratulations. You made it all the way here. This is it, your precious ward stone. Well, what are you planning to do now, I could kill you where you stand, But wouldn't it be nice if you could die in battle like heroes? No. I want you to die in despair, scrabbling around like rats in the blighted ruins of your city, blind and broken, your flesh scabbed and seeping, and every moment knowing precisely what was done to you. There isn't a soul that can resist the temptations of the abyss. Even a stone can be turned. I'm not joking. Your precious wardstone, weakened from the injury inflicted by Discari, has almost succumbed to my charms. Soon the whole barrier around the world wound, the gift of your useless goddess, will be a weapon of the abyss. Just a little more, and boom. Every city with one of these eyesores stuck in the middle of it, from Canabras to Nerosian, will turn into smoking craters, and all the mortals into red sludge beneath our hooves. So you have a choice. Especially you, my pet. Kiss me on my dainty hoof. Pledge your loyalty to Baphomet. And when the world falls, its ruins shall be yours.
What are you doing to the stone?
Well, quite what am I doing to it? Probably the same thing I did to many of your comrades. Sweetly and tenderly persuading it to abandon the mortals and join our side.
Prepare to fight to the death, demon! We won't let that happen.
You feel a sudden rush of wild rage, and with it comes a feeling of monstrous, unbridled, destructive power. It is like the power you felt in the shield maze when you were confronting Savamelik, but now it feels more fully fledged, more conscious. Succumb to the rage. You're sick of talking. Why do you have to listen to her? Why can't you just crush, rip, devour whoever you want, whoever's in your way? A malevolent roar erupts unbidden from your throat.
Hey, are you alright? If you're planning on going berserk, don't forget who's friend and who's foe. There she is. The demon! Go get her!
You send the troublesome dwarf sprawling to the floor with an elbow to the face. The time for chatting is past. The demon, that wench, she must die. The rage bursts free. You want only one thing, to rip Minago's horns from her skull and shove them down her throat.
I see blood. Blood!
What does that do? Plus 2 bonus attack and damage rolls, caster level checks, and reflex saving throws. Saving throws against demon spells are increased by 2! Oh, let's go. Let me rattle her bones. And I didn't overcome spell resistance. Didn't overcome spell resistance.
I'm tired of playing around now. You want to know what will happen when I'm done with the wardstone? Here's a little demonstration.
The demoness whispers a spell and a wave of darkness sweeps through the chamber. Your companions winch in pain, but it is nothing compared to what you feel. Thousands of voices once again burst into your mind, drowning you in their moans, screams, and sobs. Pain rocks through your skull. You will pay for this, demon scum. You will pay dearly.
I will dig out holes where your eyes should be, and pour hot coals in them.
That's a little much, don't you think?
How inventive.
Okay. I forgot about that.
Powerless rage. I love it. Threaten me more.
The roar of voices blends into an unbearable wall of screaming. Your vision goes dark.
Praise Iomade, you woke up. Healing your wounds was easy, but you were unconscious for so long I was starting to worry we'd lost you.
What happened?
We couldn't stand up to the demoness. Her spells were too strong. It's all right. We'll handle it somehow. You blacked out, but Staunton and I managed to get you here to the Defender's Heart. It used to be a tavern, but now it's our headquarters. We're gathering our forces here, and we're preparing to strike back.
I found a cultist dispatch in the dungeons. It seems they hold up in the Tower of Estrad.
Demons have been filling Canabras with their spies and infiltrators for a long time. Unfortunately, I don't have enough people to attack the place right now, at least not blindly. I'd be grateful if you snuck in there and scouted out the situation. But just scouting. Don't be a hero.
Oh, I'm not. What's the situation in the city?
Bad, but not hopeless. We're constantly getting news, and new sources of resistance keep springing up in the districts where everyone seemed to be dead. The survivors are gathering here. You should see them. Their faces, their eyes burning with determination. The city is destroyed, but our resistance is not broken. We will keep fighting.
Everything is clear.
Wait. What you did in the Grey Garrison convinced me. You're one of the best warriors left in the city. We need someone with your wits and fighting strength. I know I can't command you, but I'm asking you. Help us fight for Canabras.
You talking about when I knocked Staunton the hell out?
First of all, we need to decide what to do with the stone once we get it. What I'm about to say is classified. A traveler came to the city recently. A blind elf calling himself the Storyteller. He insisted he be allowed to examine the ward stone, and he raised the alarm when his study was finished. Even before the demon attack, he had found some damage or flaw in the stone. Prelate Hulrune dismissed his words as nonsense, borderline blasphemy. But between you and me, the prelate's opinion isn't worth much. I think the Storyteller knew what he was talking about. We could use his advice right now. If only we knew where he was. I remember the Storyteller spent a lot of time talking to Staunton, a dwarf from my unit. You saw him during the demon attack. The elf asked him about the history of the Crusades. Maybe the Storyteller told Staunton something about where we could find him if anything happened. There's another problem. After the attack, the demons began to gather their forces at the Grey Garrison. It'll be even harder to take them with a head-on assault. But I once heard soldiers talking about a secret entrance to the garrison. Trouble is, I have no idea where to look for it. While you explore the city, please keep your eyes open, in case you find something we can use. And one last thing. The Eagle Watch has lost a lot of soldiers recently. Some were killed, but others simply haven't been seen since the attack. In the chaos that is now Canabras, it's next to impossible to confirm anything for sure. One of the missing fighters is Janna Aldori, a new recruit in the Watch. She got along well with Sela, and she often went drinking with her. I honestly thought Sela and Janna had died together. But now Sela's returned with you, and there's no sign of Janna. If you learn anything of her whereabouts when you're out in the city, please report back.
What do you plan to do next?
You heard what the demon said. They're going to desecrate the ward stone and blow up the whole barrier around the World Wound. That would be an even worse disaster than the World Wound's expansion before the Second Crusade. Not only Canabras, but every city with a ward stone will be destroyed, including the capital. We can't allow that no matter what. We will retake it, even destroy it if we must. Iomede's gift must not become a weapon of the Abyss.
Everything is clear.
May the goddess help you. We're still fighting, which means that Canabras still hasn't fallen. If you come across any groups in the city that can fight, send them here to the Defender's Heart. We'll need every fighter we can muster for the final assault. Yes, one more thing. If you're in the area, check out this address. It's our house. Mine and Inevia's. Well, it was our house. If the building is still standing, open the hidden compartment in the kitchen. It's filled with supplies for a rainy day. You can take whatever you find. You have more need of it.
This way.
All right. Hey, wait. Mind if I bend your ear about something? So here's the first and most important thing. Beth gave you a crucial mission, I get that, and I know you'll get the job done. I saw you in action, but here's the rub. By sending you out on an errand, we're weakening our defenses here. If they come at us while you're gone, I don't know if we'll be able to fight them off. Everything seems clear so far. What else do you wish to discuss? So the rift that damned beetle left with its scythe, yeah, well, it cut the city into two, and it's kind of difficult to get across. My scouts tell me there's a halfway decent place to set up a crossing in Market Square. Not that any of them tried it to make sure, but you've got a mine to go across, and I think you're gonna have to eventually. You might want to give the square a once-over. And do you want me to stay here and guard the tavern? You what? No. Your task is far too important. You can't just hole up here all cozy-like, waiting for the demons to knock on the door. We need to take the fight to them. But if those freaks try to make a move on this place, Beth will send a runner to get you. If that happens, you leg it back here, alright? Because if you don't, you'll be coming back to an ash pile. Got it? When do you think the demons will attack next? Your guess is as good as mine. It might not be here. They could attack the whole damn city. Those vermin know they've lost the upper hand and that we're going to push back hard. If things kick off here, you should know after they attack, some things could be changed beyond recognition. So if you've got any business that needs taken care of, you'd better do it soon. Thanks for the warning. Horgus. Here, take this. Yes, it's 2,000 coins. Take your payment and remember that Horgus Worm always keeps his word. You helped me get back to the surface, and I duly paid you for escorting me. Now, speaking of our future cooperation, Horgus looks at you with unvarnished disapproval, his arms folded across his chest, his foot tapping impatiently. I've a job that would be perfect for someone like you. Naturally. I'll pay you generously for your service. What do you mean a job for someone like me? For an adventurer, ready to sell their soul for booze, and then lie down drunk in the gutter. Or do you think you're somehow different? A traveling knight, perhaps, noble of heart but without a coin to your name. Horgus sizes you up critically, then sighs and shrugs. You seem reliable enough ally to me, and you did get me out of those mongrel caves, so why should I care what you do with my money once you've got it? Horgus seems like one of these people who think the entire world owes them something. However, you hear notes of hysteria beneath his smug arrogance. It's as though he's really quite nervous, but taking great pains to conceal it. So what does this job involve? You shall be my bodyguard. You see, I've good reason to return to my mansion here in Canabras. I still have... Well, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. My mansion is a breathtaking building with a large garden in the wealthy part of the city, even before the demons attacked. Every thief and fraudster in the city had tried to get inside one way or another. I shudder to imagine the state it's in now. I have little hope that my guards were able to hold the mansion during the attack, and I expect that the servants fled when they saw the demons. Only Abadar knows what's happened there since. Therefore, I would ask that you meet me at my mansion and guard me there until I complete my business. I already asked the local paladins for help, but they've no desire to set foot outside this tavern. Damn cowards and traitors. That's what they are. Also, please, do take Camellia with you. I trust that girl more than the rest of your gang. She is of noble birth, after all. What kind of reward are we talking about? 1,000 gold coins. Torgus replies without hesitation. Double the reward. Several tense moments pass in silence, then Horgus's face relaxes. Deal. Deal. Marvelous, most excellent. Horgus's face relaxes, smoothing a few of the tense lines. I'll proceed to my mansion at once and wait for you there. Meanwhile, you needn't worry. I know the city like the back of my hand. But do hurry unless you want me to lower your reward. Camellia looks you over pensively, toying with the snake-shaped bone amulet that dangles from her pale necklace. Noticing your glance, she flashes you a cold, barely there smile. Greetings. Seems for a moment that she wants to say something else, but the pause grows too long and she slips back into cautious silence. Your battle cries are uninhibited. What does that mean? She blushes slightly and lowers her eyes. So you've noticed. To be honest, I find it embarrassing. You see, being a shaman means having spirits of battle as my ever-present companions. In the heat of combat, they become rather vocal. It's a little unusual. Where'd you get that thing? Ah, my little trinket. It's so nice of you to notice. But I assure you this amulet is nothing but a bauble. Can a lady not be drawn to beautiful, useless things? Bullcrap. Bull crap. I won't keep you. Alright. A strange figure towers over the bar, a huge, ungainly man with skin so milky white that his blue veins are visible even from a distance. His bald head is equal parts lumpy and pitted, and blood-filled eyes stare impassively out at you from beneath his pale brows. The glass in the albino's large, clumsy hands looks dangerously delicate, as if one twitch of those callous fingers would be enough to crush it. A gold medallion engraved with a tankard gleams around his neck. What'll it be? The medallion you're wearing, that's a sacred symbol, isn't it? Are you a cleric of Kaleen? I'm a tavern keeper. Best in the city. Best there's ever been. And I pray to the best god there is. Any news in the city? There are demons everywhere. And you showed up. There ain't places worth visiting? If you mean places that normal people usually stay well away from, then there are plenty, like the Pataxian wine cellar. Gimel pauses for effect, like the name of the place alone should make you quiver in fear. It once belonged to a Pataxian trading house. Then King Irovetti came to power in Patax, and property started changing hands. Soon after, the cellar shop assistant was found in a ditch. Not all of him, mind, just his head. Numerian gangsters had taken possession of the place. They wanted to sell something stronger than wine on the street, and they ended up on the gallows. Then King Irovetti's number was up. So now the store stands empty and unclaimed. People say that a headless ghost wanders the place at night, moaning ghoulishly. Ooh. After coming to the end of the story, unusually long by his standards, the tavern keeper takes a swig from his tankard. Just don't ask me how he makes any noise with no head. I wasn't there. I'll just tell it like I heard. Alright. So I'll keep the masterwork longbows. You know what? I'll give Winduag a scythe. Marching Terror. You know what? I'm not giving Winduag a scythe. She can use Marching Terror. Should probably give those bracers to the horse, actually. Alright. Staunton. Dwarf resembles an abandoned citadel, one whose high, crumbling walls are still holding fast, but whose empty, lightless windows make it clear that all inside is dead.
Oh, it's you. Good work back there in the Grey Garrison. Name's Staunton Vane. If you've heard rumors about me...
His face, which looks like it has never known anything as carefree as a smile, grimaces.
Just so you know, everything people say about me, it's true.
I need to talk to the elf who calls himself the Storyteller. Do you know where I can find him?
The Storyteller,
Staunton strokes his beard in thought.
A strange old fellow that once... He used to sit with me for hours, asking about all sorts of things. He never offered judgment or comfort. He just listened. At first, I wanted him and his questions as far away from me as possible. But later I realized that talking to him did ease my burden a little. I hope he is alive and well. He's completely blind and feeble, too. So if he's alone in the city, though you probably know what that means. I do know one place he might be. Look for him in the Black Wing. It's a library. Here, I'll show you where it is on the map. I don't know what use a library is to a blind elf, but he loved the place. He would sit there day and night.
What do people say about you?
They say I'm a traitor, as bad as a Erelu Vorlish, that I'm a disgrace, even among the ranks of the condemned, that Queen Galfrey should never have spared me, and that I belonged on the gallows.
Why do they hate you so much?
You really don't know?
Staunton gives you a long, morose look, then sighs.
I'm the reason why the Crusade forces are holed up in the fortress on the edge of the Worldwound, instead of bringing the fight to the demons. We used to have a foothold in the wound, the mighty, unassailable city of Dresden. We used to have it until it fell, and all because of my stupidity. I gave the enemy our main citadel. I was tried. They wanted to execute me, and rightly so, but the Queen intervened. She said that I should live and fight in order to undo what I had done. So that's how I live, decade after decade, fighting in the condemned. As you can see, I have fixed nothing, and I have earned no one's forgiveness. Are you going to spit in my face too? It wouldn't surprise me.
Spit in Staunton's face. The dwarf casually wipes his face. He looks at you calmly as though nothing happened. So many years in the condemned. Surely you have paid your penance by now.
That's not up to me to decide. My life is in the Queen's hands.
He falls silent for a moment, and then in a trembling voice he adds,
The condemned isn't the worst part. All these years I've prayed to Torag for forgiveness countless times. I've got to his priests countless times. I've kneeled before his altar. If only the father of dwarven kind would answer my prayers just once. Not to restore what I've lost, but just to tell me that I am still one of his children. But it seems he doesn't give a damn about me. What can I expect from mere mortals when my own God doesn't think I deserve redemption? A whole city fell because of you. How is that possible? What do you mean, how? The knight glares at you from beneath his furrowed brows. If you don't trust the word of a condemned, go ask somebody else. Like my little brother Jordan. And if you still don't believe it, what's it to me? But if you're about to ask me to recount the story of my disgrace for the 1000th time, don't. You really don't have any friends? I couldn't have survived this long if I were completely alone. Jordan, my little brother. He keeps me going. He's never abandoned me. Everyone else shies away from me like they might catch what I've got. Even fighters in the condemned console themselves by thinking, I got stripped of my rank, but at least I'm not stomped. Commander Tirabade seems to be the only person in the whole army who remembers that I'm a soldier and not a drudge. She has no qualms about taking me into battle. She's had some mud flung at her in the past, or so I hear. That's why she tries to keep an open mind about people. It's no surprise that she's the only one to hold on to her sense of reason in this farce. Go on then. Maybe we'll see each other again. Hey, Windowag! Windowag tense stance reveals her constant vigilance. Her eyes are focused and resolute. Noticing you, she lets you speak, first bowing respectfully. Master, I am at your service. Please stop groveling. You promised me an army of mongrels. Windowag narrows her cat-like eyes. And I will give you one, Master. But first we have to rebuff the attack on the city. Sol has spent his entire life preparing for the underground crusaders' return to the surface, and he's not going to take any risks. He will order the tribes to hide in the caves like rats, and he will decide whether they are strong enough to fight side by side with us. Maybe he will decide that it's better to sit this one out and wait for another chance to come along. We have to fend off the demons, win a glorious victory, and show Sol that ours is not a lost cause. Then he will give us his warriors, and then it will be my job to turn them into real soldiers. Thank you for talking to me, Master.
Wherever my legs carry me.
An imposing young Ored is surrounded by a crowd of crusaders who are hanging on to her every word. I hope this example clearly illustrates the differences between Jiska, legionnaires from the last war, and the crusaders. The perfection of form and spirit they were imbued with during creation turned them into parts of a well-balanced war machine. Not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but a united whole. Now tell me again, why I am supposed to be impressed by your reckless assaults, where everyone is fighting for their ego and for the right to beat their peers to a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice. Some of the Crusaders grumble unhappily, but it is clear that they are captivated by the woman's words. The only exception is a scraggly and disheveled halfling monk whose puffy black eyes gives him away as a brawler and a troublemaker. He enthusiastically pushes forward and tries to engage, but one of his friends swiftly jabs him in the back with an elbow, making the poor fellow pause to catch his breath. Looks like we got ourselves a student of war. The woman gives you a suspicious look and raises an eyebrow. Where words meant to recognize my achievements or to start a fight the way Mendevian crusaders usually do. One of the crusaders angrily curls his fist tightly and retorts with a burst of passion.
If those gists of yours, or whatever, had come for us, we'd have their guts for garters, and you think we've never fought a mighty adversary before? The soldier's stern facade cannot fully conceal his relish. He clearly plans to enjoy this confrontation. The crusaders around him look upon their exotic weapons with a mixture of irritation and piqued interest. The woman chuckles before cutting off her interlocutor. Oh, that's a new word. I would love to see you storm a 60-foot-tall walking castle shaped like a gigantic elephant that carries siege fortifications on its back. And I'll have you know these fortifications were defended by Jiskin priest craftsmen armed with demon-bound war machines. They used the enemies you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. The woman gives the people around her a triumphant look and adjusts her clothes with pointed nonchalance. Her voice takes on a lecturer's tone. You should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative research in the history of warfare, 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. The woman looks at you and flashes an amused smile. The lecture is over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? What was this last war you mentioned? The last war of Jisca, of course, a large-scale conflict that took place 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. It was a war against the Osirian pharaoh of forgotten plagues, the war that ended the legendary Jisca Imperium, an epic struggle that became the most vibrant page in military history. Alas, all conflicts that followed it were but a pale shadow, including the one I am witnessing here. Why do you find the last war of Jisca so inspiring? Imagine legions of golems imbued with extraplanar spirits marching into battle. Imagine flying cities that swoop out of the clouds like terrifying monstrous birds of prey to drop forces on top of enemy castles. Picture gigantic mechanisms powered by captive and very angry demons and devils. Imagine standing in the warpath of walking citadels, or having to cover your ears to block out the sound of cannons loaded with shrieking elementals. Finally, imagine the ultimate weapon that defeated the Jisca, the deadly night plague. This affliction was an attack dog, a trained epidemic, a tamed pestilence, striking only those who its master wanted to kill. Imagine all these terrors and understand that no flight of fancy can even come close to the horror of the nightmare that they made real. How do you know so much about Jisca's last war? I can say without false modesty that there is no more authoritative researcher on Galarian when it comes to the history of warfare, 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. I've dedicated my whole life to this subject. I've personally visited old battlefields and studied the most mysterious and forbidden archives containing chronicles of ancient wars, sometimes risking my life in the process. I saw a fallen sky city of the Shori Empire with my own eyes. I ripped out the control crystal from an exterminator-class combat golem that guarded a Jisca laboratory with my own hands. These fingers held the glass flask that the servants of Pharaoh of forgotten plagues used to create the first generation of pestilence that devastated the Jisca Imperium. How do I know so much? I saw and touched everything I am telling you about. You're wrong to treat the Crusaders with such disdain. Allow me to explain. A debate. I'll be happy to prove that the current conflict can't hold a candle to the last war of Jisca. Very well, the last war of Jisca was waged using a significantly greater number of troops. Both sides actively relied on reinforcement from allied planes, and their strategic planning was perfected through no fewer than 7 rounds of intensive design. None of the above applies to this war of yours. Compared to Jisca, we are but stone club-wielding kobolds. I would like to conclude my thesis with a few words of wise counsel from Dagon, an advisor to the Pharaoh of Forgotten Plagues. I doubt you will comprehend the true genius of his statement, but here it is nevertheless. A gadfly sees the ox pays no heed to the gadfly, but crimson fever takes them both. Alright. Man. The principles of war are always the same. Weapons, causes, and resources may change, but the foundations remain immutable. Indara's eyes display frustration as she hears the audience, clearly impressed by your argument, murmuring approval. There is logic in your words, I give you that. Yes, the concept of war does not change, but the degree of sophistication in the methods that we use to destroy our foes. The woman stops, realizing her words, no matter how ostentatious she makes them, no longer have the power to captivate the audience. Indara offers a pretentious dismissal. As a scholar, I cannot deny that there is a certain truth beneath your skeptical statements. History is a complex discipline rooted in fact, and an evidentiary base that grows ever more meager the farther the described period is from the present moment. Of course, if I were to argue in bad faith, the way Crusaders embellish their tales of slaying a single Brimarack by adding a dozen Balers, for example, I could win this debate. But I'm above such things, and therefore I'm forced to admit that your skepticism is not entirely without merit. I'm sure you would have been able to expound your argument in a longer discussion. Indara nods with obvious relief. I am glad we both understand this limitation. It is always a pleasure to face a worthy opponent, even if the debate takes place in a grimy tavern, perhaps especially because of that. Indara unbuckles her sword belt and hands you the weapon. This is a worthy blade. It will be of use not only for the strong, but also for the wise. And this is where I bid you farewell. Before the end of the day, I was planning to observe how winged demons use pack tactics to drive their prey like herds of livestock. It is about time I got back to my research. The hint of a smile graces Indara's lips when she sees disappointment in the eyes of many crusaders around her. Stay safe.
Forwards! No, backwards! Backwards!
A useless weapon! It's not cold iron, and it's flaming. I mean, I guess this could be nice if I wanted to give Windwag a shield, which she could probably use, but she doesn't have the finesse feat though, which is bad. You know, what did I make? I made her a cult leader, that's right. Cult leaders don't get weapon finesse, do they? No. Should probably take her down 3 levels of rogue. Journal. A young man in well-worn traveling clothes and a simple wooden symbol of Era still on his chest is efficiently cutting a linen robe into straps to use as bandages. Despite his visible exhaustion, he works with zeal, singing some tune about red braids and ripe sheaves of wheat under his breath. He raises his warm chestnut-colored eyes to you. Are you one of the Crusaders? Thank you for defending those of us whose talents lie off the battlefield. I'm Jerna, servant of Aristil. Pleased to meet you. Where are you doing? I only took my holy orders recently, so my god has only bestowed a little of his power upon me. As yet, I'm sorry to say that the number of wounded fighters in this tavern is far beyond my power to heal. There's a reason, people say. Have faith in the gods, but look to yourself first. I may not be able to help the wounded with magic, but I can at least cut up bandages. I could use the help of a cleric. Jerna makes a helpless gesture. Eris still knows I'd be glad to help you, but it's no use. My spells are depleted, and I have no training in potions or scrolls. See this robe I'm cutting up for bandages? It's the second to last one. Are you from around here? No, I was just passing through Canabras. I was sailing down that old man of ours, the great Selon River, to a village by the name of Chili Creek. It happened to land in the city on the eve of the festival, and I'm ashamed to say I decided to stay for a day to enjoy myself. But I ended up staying in the city longer than I'd bargained for. Chili Creek, where's that? It's a small fishing village. It's not even marked on some maps. The people do live there. What they don't have is a priest. They have no one to heal their wounds, and no one to offer prayers for a good catch. No one to give their dead a dignified burial, and the world wound is a stone's throw away. So I'll be setting sail for Chili Creek to serve my god and my people. Once we've held Canabras, I'll be going there. If by the grace of the good gods we all survive this, you should come and visit me sometime. You'll find the village here on the bank of the river. Aren't you, a young and inexperienced cleric, afraid to go to the borders of the whirlwind? I won't lie. I am afraid. What can I do? Those villagers are simple people, like you and me. Every day of their short lives is spent doing hard, honest work. That's exactly the kind of life I want. Something simple but meaningful. If I had centuries ahead of me, like elves and some other races do, I might have spared some 50 years or so to travel around the world. Or maybe even 100. Why not? But I don't have time to spare, so I want to spend my short life in the place where I'm needed most, even if it's dangerous, especially if it's dangerous. May Eris still watch over you. A tall, fragile-looking elf sits in front of you, eyes closed. He is pale as a ghost, his arm wrapped in a blood-stained bandage. You spot other bandages on his body under his clothes, but even in such a miserable state, he manages to keep calm. Raising his eyes to meet yours, he says faintly, "I am Foreign Autumn Haze, at your service." His pale lips are reddened by blood, but you see no sign of pain or fear in his gray eyes. Who are you? My name is Foreign Autumn Haze. I've come here from Kyonin because I am a hunter, and all minions of evil are my quarry. I won't say more than that if you don't mind. We are strangers and of different races and cultures. I'd rather not tell you more than is necessary. You need help? After giving you a cold, intense look, he shakes his head. Do not trouble yourself on my behalf. A local healer tended me. Besides, I come from a resilient, hardy people. My body will endure both the wounds and the poison delivered through them. Mine's all gone. You can trust me. You can... After a brief pause, Foreign says, it would be impolite to refuse such a direct and friendly offer. Who is your quarry? I was hunting a fugitive, a Descarite by the name of Kaylessa. It pains me to admit that there are heinous malefactors such as her among my noble kin. I managed to catch up to her in Canabras, and I wounded her. Then demons appeared, and the city was engulfed in flames. I was injured in the battle that ensued, and couldn't free her soul from its service to her dark master. He expresses no anger or hatred as he speaks, only compassionate sorrow. You're not that great of a hunter, it would seem. His expression remains indifferent, though his voice is as cold as a mountain stream. Many underestimate the wisdom and experience that my people acquire over the centuries. I do hope that my opponent will misjudge me as you have. I have to go. Good fortune to you. Surrender thy soul, Delvin. Gotcha. How many times is that today? Take your jokes and shove them, Tiefling.
Trail.
Oh wait, I messed up. There we go.
What's in wait for me there, I wonder?
Alright.
Hey, Chief. Hey, Dreamboat, come over here. I want to talk to you about something. Something really important.
The young tiefling sits cross-legged on the floor. He looks relatively calm for someone in shackles, but his tail whips back and forth in agitation. Noticing your attention, the tiefling sits up and beckons you over.
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Wolfshift, or I'll knock your teeth out.
What's it to you, Delvin Dum-Dum? You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. But no one told me I had to shut my trap.
Why are you in chains?
Does it really matter? Don't get hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future. Live in the here and now.
He was caught thieving.
What do you want from me?
I'll lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops. We go someplace, talk to someone, and in return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. Some extra rations, no problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my magic know-how isn't too shabby.
What a load of guff. If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't meet another gem like me in Canabras.
I can't help you while you're chained up. How can I free you?
That's easy. You know Erebeth? Feisty-looking gal, always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's the meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy Woljif locked up for no good reason in the Defender's Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society. Got that? Will you do it?
Alright, I'll talk to Erebeth.
I knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
This way.